Dear soul, have you felt it? That sudden feeling that you're not alone, even when everyone around you seems distant. A slight chill on your arm, a familiar scent in the air, an almost imperceptible sound that stirs your memory, as if someone were saying, "I'm here. I never left." This message is for you, yes, for you who has stared into the void, with tears in your eyes, feeling a loss that was never fully explained, because the truth is, someone is trying to communicate. The angels have revealed something very important about your energy. There is a familiar spirit trying to reach you. This presence does not want to scare you or cause discomfort. Quite the opposite. It is someone who was once very significant in your life, and who, even from the other side, continues to watch over you with the same love they once gave you in life. But there is something even deeper. This spirit has something to say, and what I'm about to reveal to you may change everything. This kind of presence does not manifest itself in just any way. It chooses specific moments. Those instances when you are most vulnerable, most sincere with your own feelings. It is when you are alone, in silence, sometimes in tears, that this presence draws near. And do you know what it does? It tries to console you. It tries to guide you. It tries, even if discreetly, to remind you of who you are, of how strong you are, and of how much you are still loved, even by those who are no longer here. Have you noticed that certain coincidences in your life are not mere coincidences? For example, how many times have you thought of someone who has passed away and minutes later heard a song they loved? Or perhaps seen their name somewhere unexpected, or even had a dream so real that you woke up with a racing heart, feeling as if you had truly spoken to them. These signs are not illusions. They are attempts at contact. The spiritual world has its languages, and familiar spirits, driven by the deep love they still feel, use these languages to try to cross the veil that separates the worlds and reach you. One day, a woman named Irene told me that she had lost her mother 6 years ago. On her birthday, while grabbing a cup of coffee in the kitchen, she dropped it and it broke. When she bent down to clean it up, she found a small piece of paper hidden behind the fridge with a cake recipe that her mother had written by hand. She cried. But more than that, she felt. She felt the presence. She felt the love. She felt the connection that no death is capable of erasing. This kind of experience is not rare. What is rare is the sensitivity of those who can perceive what is truly happening. Dear soul, the angels show me that you have this sensitivity. You just need to stop doubting so much. Your heart already knows, your intuition has already seen, and that is why this message has reached you today. Before continuing the message, write in the comments this mantra. My soul recognizes the signs of eternal love. I accept to listen with my heart. Now, continuing the message. This familiar spirit, who carries love, longing, and a desire to protect, wants you to know 3 very clear things. First, you are not alone. You never have been. Even in the moments when you felt most abandoned, there were invisible hands holding you up. Second, this spirit is proud of who you have become. Even with so much pain, falls, and frustrations, you did not give up. This has immense value in the spiritual realm. Every morning when you wake up and choose to continue, even with a heavy heart, is celebrated on the other side as a victory. Third, you need to learn to listen with your soul. Sometimes you close yourself off to the signs because you think they are just memories, but they are not. They are answers. They are phrases that come out of nowhere, ideas that arise as insights, physical sensations that cannot be explained. All of this is part of the Spirit's language. And maybe you're wondering, but why now? Why is this Spirit trying to communicate with me at this moment in my life? The answer is powerful, because you are at a decisive point in your existence, an emotional crossroads where important decisions need to be made, but doubt and fear paralyze you. This spirit is trying to show you the way. It's trying to remind you that you already have the strength, you just need to trust. And most importantly, you need to reconnect with who you are, not with what the world expects of you. You know that day you woke up not knowing what to do, but smelled something that took you straight to a childhood memory? Or that moment when, out of nowhere, you felt a warmth in your chest or a breeze on your face indoors? These are the moments that matter. They carry the spiritual signature of true love, the kind that doesn't die, it just changes form. The angels ask me to tell you, don't be afraid to feel. The pain you feel is not madness, it's longing, but it doesn't have to paralyze you. It can transform into strength, into faith, into expanded love. Today, you were touched by something greater. You were chosen to receive this message because you are ready to accept spiritual contact. You are ready to look beyond the material and see that love does not end where the body ends. Love goes beyond, and it continues to whisper within you. But that's not all. There's something even deeper happening. Dear soul, you've come this far because there's something pulsing within you, a longing that can't be explained, a presence that can't be seen, but insists on being felt. Sometimes you wonder if you're becoming too sensitive. Other times you believe you're imagining it all, but you're not. And what I'm about to tell you will confirm what your soul already senses. There is a spiritual force very close to you. It's as if there's an invisible line connecting your heart to the heart of someone who has passed, someone who can't leave, because they love you too much, because they still feel there's something to be said, something to be delivered, and this delivery is about to happen. In a way as subtle as it is powerful. Have you ever felt like someone was watching you, even when there was no one around? Or have you ever felt like talking to someone from your past, as if that person could still hear you? Well, listen, and more than that, respond in your own way, in your own time, with delicacy, with affection, with signs that touch deep within your chest. The spirit trying to speak to you has walked by your side on the days you cried in silence, when there was no one to share the weight of loneliness. It has watched you sleep, trying to find peace. It has seen you in front of the mirror, doubting yourself, and even without you noticing, it has covered you with blessings. Yes, you have been protected many times without even knowing, but there's something you need to understand now. This spirit wants you to stop carrying guilt. That's right, the guilt you feel for not having said certain things, for not having been more present, or even for having drifted apart in the last moments, no longer belongs to you. It's preventing you from fully receiving this spiritual communication, because guilt creates a barrier. And this spirit wants to dissolve that barrier, not with words, but with love. Once, a lady named Doralice came to me. She had lost her brother, with whom she hadn't spoken for 10 years. Harsh words were said, grudges were held, and time, that illusionist, seemed like it would heal everything on its own. But he passed before there was reconciliation, and Doralice carried a void that no hug could fill. One night, while praying before bed, she felt a warmth on her shoulder, as if a hand touched her tenderly. She cried like a child, and she dreamed of him smiling in an open field, saying, "Now I understand everything. I love you, and I'll always be around." Since that day, something in her had changed. Guilt turned into gratitude, and fear turned into love. Dear soul, the same healing is coming to you, and to receive it, it's important that you are open. The familiar spirit that surrounds you no longer wants you to suffer for what cannot be changed. It wants you to live, to forgive yourself, to understand that what was true was never lost. Now, before we continue this message, write in the comments. Pet, I call for the spiritual reunion and accept the peace that comes from eternal love. This number represents balance and alignment with the energies of the right time. It has synergy with what is being revealed to you. The angels also kindly ask me to remind you, if this message has deeply touched your heart, consider showing your support with a gesture of gratitude by clicking "Thanks a lot." Your support helps us continue bringing these messages of light, love, and reconnection to more people who, like you, are seeking answers, comfort, and healing. Now back to the message. Something curious is happening in the next few days. You may notice a sudden change in the environment of your home, an object that changes place, a light that flickers, or even unexplained sounds during the early hours. Don't be alarmed. These are subtle movements, symbolic ways this familiar spirit is telling you, "I am here, and I want you to listen with your heart." You may also have vivid dreams, dreams that seem more real than reality itself. In them, the spirit may appear as they were in life, with clothes, voice, or mannerisms you knew well. They may talk to you, they may hug you, they may simply look and smile. This is a form of healing. These encounters are not creations of the mind. They are visits. Allow your soul to accept this. Often, pain prevents us from seeing the truth that is right before our eyes. And the truth is, those who love you never leave. Not even death has that power. What happens is merely a change of state, not of feeling. Love, once real, traverses all layers of time and space. You know that phrase you heard often from that person? The one that stayed in your memory like an echo? It might come back suddenly, through another person, a text, a song. This is spiritual synchronicity. This is the bond being reactivated. Now, a deep question for you to reflect on. Are you prepared to hear what this spirit wants to tell you? Are you willing to free yourself from pain and allow this connection to become something light, loving, and full of meaning? Because if you are ready, the universe will show you a confirmation in the next few days. It could be a sudden sensation of peace, an old letter reappearing, or even a reunion with someone that person knew and who will tell you something you needed to hear. Nothing will be by chance. Dear soul, if you've made it this far, it's because you felt it. And once we feel, there's no going back. Life begins to transform from the inside out. Small perceptions become great revelations, and what once seemed like mere longing now reveals itself as a silent but insistent call. There is a familiar spirit trying to communicate with you, and it doesn't come alone. The angels are around, opening paths, illuminating the signs, creating the bridge between the visible and the invisible. What has been happening to you in the last few days is not madness nor coincidence, it is awakening. But before I tell you what this spiritual presence wants to reveal, I need to share a story, a real story, which carries within it a powerful secret. A few years ago, I met a lady named Valeria. She had lost her father, with whom she had an intense relationship, full of love, but also difficult silences. After his passing, Valeria began to have recurring dreams. At first, they were vague images, but little by little, the details began to intensify. She would see her father on a balcony, always watching the sunset. He wouldn't say anything. He would just look at her, his eyes full of tenderness. In the third dream, he finally spoke. "I hear you. Don't stop talking to me." Valeria woke up crying. From then on, every night she began to talk to him. She would tell him about her day, her fears, her joys, and the most surprising thing, she began to feel responses. An intuition that came from nowhere, but brought peace. A gentle breeze in moments of anguish, a scent of lavender, his perfume. In places where there had never been flowers, this spirit didn't want Valeria to suffer anymore. He wanted to be a presence, not an absence. And that is exactly what this spirit wants for you too, to transform pain into presence. Before continuing the message, if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, take the opportunity to do so. This helps us continue creating meaningful content for you. Continuing the message, You might be wondering, but how can I know that this communication is real? How can I trust that it's not just my imagination? The answer lies within you. Intuition is the language of the soul, and when angels approach, they don't shout, they touch. They touch with subtlety, with synchronicity, with emotion. If you felt a lump in your throat reading this message, if you felt like crying without understanding why, it's because the soul recognized the truth before the mind understood. And the truth is this spirit is trying to ease an old pain of yours, something you buried so deep that you don't even talk about it, a longing that you turned into silence but that now wants to become healing. And there is something this spirit wants to remind you: you were not to blame for anything. You did the best you could with the love you had and the understanding you possessed. You were love, you were light, you were more than enough. This spiritual being, who may have been a mother, father, grandmother, brother, friend, or even someone who left unexpectedly, wants only this: for you to know that you are forgiven and that you are loved, very loved. Now the angels ask me to give you a special gift. The angels are sending you a special sign. Your lucky number for today is 7. Write in the Taji comments, "I receive the energy of the angels. My lucky number is 7 and I am blessed. I send love and protection to the person I like and love very much." If this message touched your heart, show your support with a valeur de main and help spread this light to more people who also need to feel this loving presence. Dear soul, at this moment something very important is preparing to happen. A confirmation. You will feel the presence of this spirit in the next 48 hours. And this confirmation can come in various ways: an old object falling or appearing out of nowhere, a song playing in an unexpected place, a very clear dream, a sudden sensation of peace accompanied by warmth in your chest or goosebumps, an animal, like a bird, a butterfly, a cat, that appears and acts unusually around you. These signs are not random. They are like notes from the spiritual plane saying, "You have been heard. You are being guided. You are not alone." And more, this spirit wants you to know that you can ask him for advice. Yes, you can. How? Before sleeping, close your eyes and mentally say, "If you are with me, guide me. Show me the way. Give me peace." And sleep in peace. If there is silence, it's okay. The answer will come in other ways: in a conversation, in a text, in a thought that arises strongly. The soul knows. The soul recognizes. Now, I want to ask you a direct and profound question. Are you ready to allow this spiritual love to accompany you in the most important decisions of your life? Because if you allow it, you will feel the difference. Fear will begin to diminish. Sadness will begin to subside. Your intuition will begin to expand. And this is just the beginning. Dear soul, you have reached a point where pain begins to turn into understanding. The longing, which was once just an emptiness, now begins to present itself as a living, constant, and loving presence. And what this spirit wants you to understand, once and for all, is that it never left. It simply changed form. What I'm about to tell you might stir up old emotions. You might cry, you might remember details that were hidden, but it is necessary because this spirit wants to free you, and for that, you need to cross the veils of pain and touch the truth that lies behind it, the truth of the love that remains. Often grief is not just about physical absence. Grief is also about the words left unspoken, the argument that was never resolved, the hug that was never given, the apology that was never made. But the spirit that visits you has a clear mission: to help you forgive, and also to forgive yourself. Forgiveness is the portal to presence. And so now, the angels ask me to guide you through an action that can transform your soul. Write in the comments a list of people, including yourself, whom you would like to forgive. Visualize each one of them. Send love and say, I forgive you. And I set you free. May peace be with you. Feel the lightness and freedom that forgiveness brings. Repeat this practice every day to strengthen your inner peace and release anxiety. Dear soul, you may not have noticed, but you have been carrying weights you no longer even realize. Weights that have accumulated over time, hidden guilt, stifled sadness, fears of moving forward. And do you know what the consequence of this is? You have been missing out on fully living in the present, but the angels tell you it's time to let go. This spirit wants you to know that the forgiveness you seek has already been granted. Yes, even if you think you didn't do enough, even if you question yourself every night. Did she know how much I loved her? Or did he leave angry with me? The answer is clear and direct. No, he knew, she felt it, they saw it. You loved in your own way, and it was enough. The pain you feel is not a debt. It is love unlived, love that still pulses, and that needs a safe space to exist. And that space can be now. Once a girl named Marilu told me that she felt guilty for not saying goodbye to her brother before he passed away. They had argued days before. The last contact was an unanswered message, and this memory tore her apart. Until, on an ordinary afternoon, she was washing the dishes when she clearly heard an old song they used to sing together in childhood. There was no radio on. There was no external sound, just that familiar melody. And with it came the certainty. He was there, and he forgave her. She sat on the floor and cried as she hadn't cried in years, and at that moment the weight lifted from her chest. She understood that true love does not depend on perfect goodbyes. It depends only on presence and acceptance. Dear soul, you can experience this too. You can free yourself. This spirit that surrounds you is trying to say, I see you. I understand your pain. I know your struggle, and I forgive you with all my love. But it doesn't just want you to know this. It wants you to feel it, to receive it, to open yourself to transform pain into tenderness, regret into relief, and absence into sacred presence. Now pause for a moment. Take a deep breath. Close your eyes for a few seconds and listen. If you are attentive, you might notice a memory surfacing out of nowhere, an emotion taking over your chest, an inexplicable urge to smile or to cry. These are signs that the connection is happening now, but there is something more. This spirit wants to give you a clear message, and it will come through a symbol. It may be an object you'll come across in the next few days, an old photo, a saved letter, a piece of clothing with a scent, a forgotten gift. This object won't come by chance. It carries a phrase, an answer, a sign. That's why the angels ask you to be receptive. Open your drawers, go through old boxes, pay attention to the subtleties of life, because the spiritual world is closer than you imagine. And it wants to show you what you need to know now. For a long time, you've been trying to be strong, trying to keep everything to yourself so as not to bother anyone, trying to move forward without showing weakness. But this strength you've been using, dear soul, sometimes it has prevented you from healing. Healing comes from surrender. Healing comes from vulnerability. Healing comes when you decide to say, I can't carry all this alone anymore. And at this very moment, you are no longer alone. Close your eyes for an instant, place your hands on your chest, and say softly, I accept the love that still exists. I receive the forgiveness that has already been sent. You may not realize it, but an energy is moving around you now. It's as if a presence is gently touching your shoulder, saying, keep going. I am here. And yes, there is still more to be revealed. Dear soul, there is something sacred happening within you, and this silent transformation, almost imperceptible to the outside world, is noticed, yes, by those who matter. The familiar spirit that accompanies you has felt your surrender, your pain, your courage, and above all, your willingness to listen to what goes beyond the senses. The connection is deepening, And now is the time to understand why this contact is happening. Have you ever wondered why this spirit is manifesting with such intensity right now? Why among so many moments in your life is it in this time that the signs are becoming so clear? Because what is about to happen in your life requires a kind of strength you don't yet know you possess. But this spirit knows deeply. A cycle is ending, an emotional phase that took years to form, and that without you realizing is being dissolved. Situations that seemed repetitive, people who have drifted away, pains that resurfaced. All of this is connected. The familiar spirit that visits you is helping you close this cycle with dignity, with peace, and with a clear conscience. And that's why you're feeling so much. That's why your heart tightens, your eyes fill, your thoughts become confused. It's as if something is being pulled out from within, and in a way it is. Everything that no longer serves you is being removed, including the pain of believing you need to carry everything alone. This spirit wants to remind you of who you are, not who you learned to be to please others, not who you became to survive, but who you have always been deep down, that child who looked at the sky and believed the stars answered. The same one who was enchanted by the sound of rain, the smell of cake in the oven, the warm hand of a grandmother running through your hair. This version of yourself still lives within you, and it is with her that this spirit is trying to speak. Once a woman named Estella came to me saying she no longer knew who she was. I lost myself in the rush of life. I drifted away from myself. I missed something I can't even name, she said. During our conversation, we discovered together that the root of this absence was the loss of her older brother, who taught her to draw when they were children. After he passed, she buried her joy for art along with him. She never touched colored pencils again. One day, during a silent walk, she saw a child on the sidewalk drawing with chalk on the ground. The little girl looked at her and said, "Do you want to draw with me?" Estella knelt right there, and she cried. She cried for everything she couldn't express. She cried for everything she tried to forget. But at that moment, she understood that her brother was there, not in that child's body, but in that symbolic chance of reunion. Life driven by the spirit had given her a new opportunity to remember who she was. Dear soul, the spirit around you is doing the same with you. It is offering you signs, situations, people, discreet invitations for you to live again what you left behind. And there is something it deeply desires, for you to stop hiding from your essence, to stop postponing your gifts, to allow yourself to shine again. You have talents that were left in the corner. You have desires that were ignored out of fear, pain, or thinking that it wasn't the right time. But now it is. This spirit is trying to tell you, life goes on, and I want to see you happy again. You need to understand, this being of light is not stuck in the past. It has evolved. It understands time differently. It doesn't want you to cling to memories with suffering. It wants you to use those memories as fuel to live more truthfully from now on. And you might be thinking, but I don't know where to start. Again, then listen carefully. Start where your heart silently sighs. That idea you always had but never put into practice. That old desire that comes back from time to time. That talent no one knows because you never showed it. That's where. If you open yourself to this, you will notice that synchronicities intensify. The spirit that accompanies you will place people, messages, and opportunities in your path. Not to do it for you, but to remind you, you can do it. I believe in you. Now close your eyes for a moment and take a deep breath. Visualize this spirit smiling at you. There is no judgment, no criticism, only love, only light, only support. And in this moment of connection, the angels are around you. They are preparing something very special. You will be surprised. Soon, someone will say a phrase to you that will be the confirmation of everything you have felt so far. This person may not even know why they said it, but you will know. Meanwhile, walk with more lightness. Talk to this spirit. Light a candle if you wish. Look at the sky, or simply be silent. What matters is that the bond has been remade, and nothing will separate it again. And remember, you are being assisted, not only by this spirit, but by spiritual forces that deeply desire to see you at peace. But there is more to come. Dear soul, you have been accompanied by a sweet, silent, and loving presence. An energy that watches over you, that welcomes you even on the days you think you are alone. The familiar spirit that visits you is getting closer and closer, and this is not by chance. It knows you are ready, ready to understand, to feel, and, most importantly, to accept what needs to be revealed now. Yes, there is a revelation, something you may have avoided seeing clearly for fear of facing your own emotions. But now, with the portals of the heart open, this revelation comes as healing, not as pain. It comes as liberation. What this spirit wants to tell you is, it's time for you to live for yourself. For years, you gave more than you could. You put everyone's happiness before your own. You worried. You annulled yourself. You tired yourself. You tried to keep everything in balance, even when everything inside was crumbling. But the time to change has come. Not abruptly, but profoundly. You need to come back to yourself. This spirit has been trying to show you this through small signs. When you feel you no longer have the energy to give to those who don't appreciate it. When you realize you are repeating the same cycles with different people. When you feel like isolating yourself just to be able to hear your own thoughts. These are spiritual touches saying, find yourself again. Before life forces you to stop, you don't have to do everything at once. Start by looking within. Start by listening to your body. He is shouting for you. Start by respecting your time. Start by saying no. Start by asking yourself, what would I do if I weren't afraid? This spirit wants to remind you that you have the right to lightness. You have the right to smile without guilt. You have the right to choose yourself. You have the right to no longer carry weights that are not yours. He wants to see you happy, truly happy, and he will help you with that. There is also something very symbolic that needs to be said here. This spiritual presence wants you to reconnect with your inner child, that part of you that still believes in the impossible, that still dreams with purity, that still expects love as a gift and not as an effort. If possible, take some time just for her. Do something you loved when you were little. Dance, draw, walk barefoot, eat that simple sweet, listen to a childhood song. All of this is sacred. All of this is a ritual of reconnection with your essence. And you know why? Because your essence is where this spirit can communicate the most. Once a lady named Donna Aldina told me something I never forgot. After my son passed away, I stopped taking care of the plants. It was he who loved them. One day I saw a flower born alone in the dry vase, and there I understood. He was calling me back to life. Dear soul, the spirit that visits you is doing the same thing with you, calling you back to yourself, back to the now, back to the lightness of living, not out of obligation, but out of deserving. Now the angels ask me to give you a very special mission. Share this video with 2 dear people who need this message of hope and faith. Let's together build a chain of love and mutual support. Leave a comment with a prayer for your guardian angel. Write with an open heart. Your prayer, no matter how simple it may seem, will be read in the spiritual plane, and it may touch other lives as well. Back to the message. In the next few days, you may notice an unexpected change in your emotional field. It's as if something that once hurt you deeply begins to lose its strength. It's not magic, it's healing. Healing sent by this spirit with the help of the angels, who is cleaning old wounds to make room for a new life. And with this healing, a different clarity will also come. You may notice people naturally drifting away, connections that no longer make sense ending peacefully. A desire to tidy up your house, move objects around, throw things away. All of this is a reflection of the spiritual movement around you. When the soul changes, the external world needs to reorganize, and you are about to live this reordering. Now listen to this carefully. This spirit wants to give you a gift. An emotional gift. It could be a forgotten memory that will come back strongly, bringing comfort. It could be a sudden inspiration to do something new. It could be a reunion with someone who will make you feel welcomed. Pay attention. The gift will come, and it will be exactly what you need. And if at any moment you feel afraid, just say out loud, I am safe, I am being guided, and I accept to live what is best for me. The angels show me that this spirit is already at peace, but he wants you to be at peace too. He wants to see you smiling again. He wants to see you choosing out of love and no longer out of obligation. He wants to see you free, and know this: what you will live in the next chapters of your life will be so different, so much lighter, so much truer, that even longing will change shape. It will continue to exist, yes, but with tenderness, with sweetness, with gratitude, because the greatest tribute you can make to those who have passed away is to live well. And the most beautiful thing is that this spirit is not going away. He will be in every laugh, in every achievement, in every step taken with courage, like a guardian angel disguised as a memory, present even when invisible. Dear soul, you've made it this far with courage and sensitivity. Every word of this message has been embraced by your heart like a spiritual hug from someone who, even from the other side, continues to walk with you in love. Now, a memory needs to emerge, not to hurt you, but to finally transform into light. Yes, there is something you've kept inside, a detail, a moment that back then you thought was small, but it remained etched in your heart. Maybe a last conversation, maybe something you wanted to say but didn't have time for, or perhaps simply a look that was exchanged and has been echoing within you ever since. And what this spirit wants now is to help you remember, not with sadness, but with a new perspective, with clarity, with acceptance, with healing. Can you return to that moment? You don't need to force it. Let the memory come like a breeze. It may appear as a scene in your mind, or as an emotion that tightens your chest, or even as a blurred image that keeps reappearing. This moment is the key, because that is where the deepest message is kept. Once, a woman named Sonia told me that in the week she lost her mother, she felt a strange mix of anger and sadness. She couldn't understand why her mother, even while sick, insisted on smiling. I wanted her to tell me she was scared, that she needed me, but she just smiled, she said. It seemed like a disconnect. Until years later, she dreamed of her mother sitting in a chair, who told her, I smiled because I didn't want you to see me suffer. It was my way of protecting you. Sonia woke up and cried for hours, but those tears were not of guilt, they were of liberation. She understood everything. The memory was reframed. The weight turned into lightness. Dear soul, you too can reframe that memory. This spirit is guiding you to it because they want you to understand nothing was left unfinished. The love between you was complete, and what wasn't said with words was felt with the soul. And now there is an invitation being made to you. Make space for this memory to become a blessing. Perhaps you need to write a letter to this spirit. Perhaps you need to speak aloud everything that has been stuck in your chest. Perhaps you just need to cry, and that's okay. Emotion is sacred. It cleanses, it frees, it reopens spiritual doors. And the angels want you to know you are not reliving this pain for nothing. You are opening your heart to a new phase of your life, and this phase will require presence, wholeness, self-love. And that is why this spirit wants to see you at peace, because they know that what is to come will be grand. Can you feel it? A turning point, a lightness arriving, a calling, because now everything begins to make sense. Have you ever wondered why this specific longing persists for so long? It's because it has a mission, and now that mission is about to be completed. This familiar spirit is guiding you toward a path of deep reconnection with something you forgot. To do for yourself, dream. You stopped dreaming, stopped wishing for new things, stopped imagining yourself living with a sparkle in your eyes. And this spirit can no longer allow. That is why they insist. That is why you feel them. That is why the memories return, not as punishment, but as a call to life. You need to dream again. You need to desire. You need to allow yourself to create new stories, even with longing in your heart. And they will be there, in every step, in every new beginning, celebrating with you, cheering for you, proud to see you moving forward, and perhaps now you feel like sharing this with someone. So the angels ask you, talk about this message with someone you love, someone who also feels longing, someone who needs to know that love doesn't end. This spiritual chain only grows when we share. And to strengthen you even more on this path, the angels ask me to give you one more sign today. Your lucky number for today is 4. Write in the comments, I receive the energy of the angels. My lucky number is 4, and I am blessed. I send love and protection to the person I like and love very much. And if this message touched your heart, click on Worth a Lot. This gesture strengthens our mission to continue spreading light and words of comfort to those who need it most. Now, close your eyes once more, take a deep breath, and feel what is happening around you. Feel the presence that accompanies you with so much affection. Feel the love that has not gone away. Feel the certainty that from now on you will never be lost again. This spirit guides you, embraces you, and prepares you, because what lies ahead is sacred. But there is still something kept, a revelation that this spirit has been waiting for the right time to make, and that time has come. Dear soul, the journey you are on is not just emotional, it is spiritual. Every step you have taken along these blocks has been clearing paths within you, paths that were forgotten, closed, dormant. And now, the moment has arrived. The spirit that visits you has been waiting for the right time to reveal something that could only be understood with an open heart, as it is now. This revelation may not be as you imagined, but it is exact, precise, necessary. This spirit wants you to know you have been chosen to be the healing link in this lineage. Yes, you, the woman who carries in her heart pains that she does not always know how to name, the woman who so often took care of everyone and forgot about herself, the woman who survived silences, rejections, abandonments, and still chose love. You are not going through this spiritual approach just to comfort your heart. You are being touched by this spirit because your soul accepted deep down the mission to free old patterns that have repeated for generations. If you look at your family's history, you might start to notice repetitions. Women who loved more than they were loved, silenced screams that crossed decades, inherited fears, carried as if they were yours, lives interrupted too soon, absences that became rules, not exceptions. This spirit that is now so close to you lived part of this pain, and on the other side realized that something needed to be done so that it would not repeat. That's why he chose you, not by chance, not out of pity, but because he saw in you the strength, sensitivity, and light that could change the course of this story. Perhaps you are wondering, but how can I heal something I haven't even experienced? The answer is, you feel it because you carry it. And what you carry can indeed be transformed. Have you noticed that you are more sensitive than other people in your family? Have you noticed that even without knowing why, you have always been the one who absorbs the environment the most, the one who feels what others cannot name, the one who perceives first, intuit first, cries without knowing where it comes from? This is not fragility, it is living spirituality within you. This spirit wants to tell you, you are the bridge between what was and what can be. That's why he is by your side, to guide you in this process, to strengthen you, to remind you that you are not alone in this mission. And how is this mission accomplished? With love, with awareness, with small daily acts. Healing begins when you say, I do not repeat what hurt me. I create something new from what I felt. It begins when you choose to respond with kindness instead of repeating learned aggressions. When you decide to take care of your emotional health, even if no one has taught you how. When you look in the mirror and say, I deserve to be happy, and it is for me and for all those who came before that I will live this happiness. The spirit that visits you celebrates every time you break an old pattern, every time you choose differently, every time you stand with love, every time you respect yourself, every time you forgive yourself. That is healing, that is liberation, that is the mission being fulfilled. Now the angels ask me to have you do something very special. Light a candle, white if possible, in a moment of silence. Dedicate this light to the spirit that accompanies you and say sincerely, I accept the mission to heal. I make room for love to reign in my story. May this light reach the past and illuminate the future. You will feel it, perhaps a sudden peace, perhaps a soft chill, perhaps an inexplicable urge to cry. It is the response, it is the yes from the other side. And now the angels ask me to give you another revelation. This spirit is preparing a reunion in your life. It could be with someone from your past. It could be with someone new who carries an energy similar to theirs. It could be a reunion with yourself, with the part of you that was forgotten long ago. But this reunion will happen, and it will be beautiful, and it will be just, and it will be the beginning of something much lighter. Prepare yourself. In the coming days, you may feel a different longing, no longer painful, but sweet, as if time is giving something back to you. This will be the sign. And when that happens, look up at the sky and say, I receive, I thank, I continue. Now, dear soul, before we close this chapter, the angels ask, write in the comments, I accept being the link of healing in my lineage. I honor those who came before and make room for a future of peace. This seals the mission. This sends the response to the spiritual plane. This confirms you are ready. Dear soul, we have reached the end of this journey, or rather, a new beginning. Every word written here has been guided by the angels and the spirit that has visited you so often. They know you are ready to hear the final part of this message. A part that is not just a farewell, it is a reminder that true love does not die. It simply finds other ways to continue existing. This spirit, who has accompanied you in recent days, wants you to know that everything shared here was just the beginning. They do not come to cause pain or meaningless longing. They come to confirm that life goes far beyond what the eyes can see, and that longing, when embraced, can become a bridge to something greater. Now I want you to take a deep breath, close your eyes, and imagine this spirit looking into your eyes. Imagine the tenderness, the affection, the calm they have always known how to offer you, even in the most difficult moments. And feel what is being said in silence. I free you. I bless you. I trust you. Yes, dear soul, this spirit wants you to understand that their mission by your side is complete. They came to help you remember who you are, to remind you that you do not need to carry guilt, that you no longer need to fear what you feel, that the longing that was once pain can now be a place of comfort and strength. They are saying they will continue to accompany you, but in a lighter way, more silent, more free, because they know that now you are ready to move forward, ready to honor the life they helped you build, ready to live not as one who waits, but as one who deserves. You know, throughout this entire message, the angels have been preparing you for this moment. They know that what you need most now is to allow yourself to live for yourself, to live without fear of loving again, to live without fear of losing, to live knowing that everything that is true is never lost, and to help you anchor this certainty in your heart. The angels ask you to make one final gesture. Light a candle. If you can, do it today. Let this flame burn as you mentally repeat, I accept the presence of love in my life. I honor those who have departed. I live what still awaits me. This flame will be a sign, a link between worlds, a confirmation that everything said here echoes not only in your heart but also in the spiritual realm. Dear soul, before ending this message, the angels show me something you need to know. You don't need to rush. Healing has no deadline. Peace arrives when it finds space. Love flourishes when you allow yourself to nurture it, even with fear. And now, you are more ready than ever. This spirit will continue to guide you, but it wants you to know that from today the greatest work is yours, to care for your heart, to honor your dreams, to live without guilt. And I know that at this moment you might feel a mix of relief and longing. Relief in knowing that this presence is not leaving. Longing because you feel that this connection is eternal, but in a different way. And that's okay. This longing is now a gift, a living reminder that you were loved beyond the physical, proof that love born from the soul never disappears. Dear soul, before saying goodbye to this message, I leave you with the last phrase this spirit wants to echo within you, like a personal mantra. You are light. You are love. You are the legacy I leave in the world. May these words be like a seal of protection around you. May every time longing comes, you remember this unconditional love. And may, whenever your heart aches, you close your eyes and feel this presence saying, I am here, and I always will be. Now, to make this message even more powerful, write in the comments, I am light. I am love. I accept living in peace with who I am, and share your experiences in the comments. If you like this video, like and subscribe to the channel for more inspiring content. Thank you for watching, and see you in the next video.